So for as long as I can remember, David has been my older brother, obviously. But, I mean, he's been a lot more than just a traditional someone to play catch with since. He's been a lot more to me than that. You can kind of liken our relationship to that of the bike that you hang up in winter. It's not that you don't want to ride your bike during the winter, it's just that he lives 2 hours away in Indianapolis going to school at Butler University. But, you know, when the snow melts and your bike comes home for a summer vacation, then it's awesome because you get to ride your bike again. Everything's good to go. And finally, even if we're not up to speed on each other's lives right away, it never really takes that much effort for us to pump the tires back up and start rolling again. But you know, whether the bike was put down or hung up or David lived away or at home, never really changed the way that he treated me. You know, when he did live at home though, for that short period of time that he did, he would take the time to go on all sorts of adventures with me, I guess, like places that I thought was cool being a third grader, like whether it was playing basketball or video games or going to somewhere like Chuck E. Cheese. He like took the time to do it with me, and that was really awesome because I'm sure it sucked for him. And I can remember this one specific time that my mom was out of town with my sisters, and he was put in charge of babysitting me or whatever you want to call it, and he took me to pizza for dinner, and then we went to this used video game store and bought this old Batman video game, like the oldest Nintendo, and let me stay up like way past my bedtime playing it. And I thought that was like the coolest thing in the world, that I was allowed to stay up past like 7:30 playing video games with David. And so stupid story, but I thought it was awesome. But when I was in 5th grade, my bike was put up for the first time when David moved to Butler University to go to school. And I thought my world was going to end, you know, I thought it was terrible. But even when he was at school, he still took the time to like call me and ask how the 4th grade was going and things like that. And, you know, things of being a college student now, I understand how difficult it is to keep track of people. And he took the time to call up a 4th grader and ask them, you know, how their long division was going or something like that. And then of course when he came home, we went on all sorts of adventures again. Mundane adventures. Like I remember this one time I really wanted to go see Lord of the Rings, the first Lord of the Rings, so this was like a long time ago. And David agreed to take me, so we got to the movie theater, we realized we didn't have any money. We somehow forgot that detail of paying for a movie theater. So we go back to the car, and he finds this jar of change in his car, and apparently he recognizes that it's important enough for me to see this movie that we go back up to the clerk and pay for the entire movie in change. And the clerk was so pissed, but I thought it was so funny. And so cool that we were like rebellious or whatever, and the clerk was counting out nickels and dimes and like, I'm not getting paid enough to do this, like look at us. But obviously he recognized that it was important enough, like I said, for me to go through the embarrassment and the hassle of paying for a movie in change. And in hindsight, that was something that was really, really impressive of him to do. But not too long ago, a new accessory was added to our relationship spike. David gave me this gift called the Hagakure. It's this book, it's like this samurai Bible. It has a whole bunch of like Japanese like wisdom and sayings and things like that. And he marked his favorite page, page 37, with way too much money. He put like this a ton of money in there. It's like, save this for when it's important, don't spend it on anything stupid. And he marked a quote in there that says, to treat people harshly is the way of middle-class lackeys. And I think that's something that's really important, and I've tried to take that to heart, but obviously failed many times. And that's something that David has definitely succeeded in over and over and over again, and has been a model for my behavior through his actions and his own behavior. I mean, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about my older brother David. Like, he's just one of those guys that no one ever has a single beef with, and like, I'm sure that all of you guys have someone like that in your life, and you're all lucky to have someone that you just know that no one ever has a problem with them. But I'm just lucky enough to have him as my older brother, and somehow that worked out for me. And Lex, you're lucky enough to have him as your husband of like, what, 2 hours at this point. So, so now it's my turn, David, to return the Eastern wisdom to you. And since you've given me so much, I feel like I should give you something on this day as you set forth in your new marriage. Page 32 of the Hagakure reads, when one is attending to matters, there is one thing that comes forth from his heart. That is, in terms of one's Lord loyalty, in martial affairs, bravery, and apart from that, something that can be used by all the world. Well, David, your loyalty is to be commended since you've stuck by me through all these years of obnoxious fourth graderness. And it definitely takes a brave man to get married, there's no question about that. And as for something to give back to the world, your compassion and your capacity to treat people like they're the most important person in the world, even if they're your obnoxious fourth grade brother, is something that the world, and specifically your wife Lex, is very lucky to have. And I know that I've been lucky to have it up to this point. So I'd like to propose a toast. I'd like everyone to raise their glasses, whatever they have in front of them. To brotherhood.
To brotherhood.
All right.